Hey everybody, Lynn Coffey here, and today I want to talk to you about being a celebrity in your community or within your niche, but doing it in a way so that all of your your online presence, if you will, brings forth that celebrity status. Now, what I mean by celebrity is I'm not saying that you have to be all glitzed and glammed up and, sort of have this huge name for yourself or 50,000 Facebook followers or whatever the case. What I mean by being a celebrity in your community or within your niche is quite simply this. When people think of personal training or weight loss or fitness, you want them to associate the results with you. So you want to be known for your craft in your local area. That's really, really important, and I don't think there's a better way to drive this home than using myself as an example. So for those of you that don't know, I actually used to be a personal trainer, and I managed a gym, and I used to put on nutrition seminars, all of that fun stuff, probably 13, 14 years ago now. And since then, I've transitioned and I build websites and do online sort of help people with their online presence, primarily through websites to bring through all that, their vibe, their personality, who their business is, who they serve, why they're different, all of those really big questions. I help to bring all of that stuff through primarily on your website. When I transitioned into what I do now, lots of other things happened. I was getting older. I was not working at a gym anymore. I was primarily sitting at a laptop, working, sitting down most of my day. I had kids. I have, as of right now, I have 3 kids, age 3 and under. I know, insane. I do not recommend it. I have lots of gray hair to show for this. I'm just kidding. They're actually great, and they're my entire heart. So, anyway, my life really changed, and obviously my business has continued to grow, and I strive really hard to make each client feel as though as soon as they email me, that I'm literally sitting here waiting for their email so I can do their work and get right back to them. Obviously, that's not the case, but my goal is to make each client feel like they can reach me very, very, very quickly. So that's a lot. And through all of that, getting older, having kids, being married, sitting at a desk job, I've gained some weight. And I've stopped working out, right? So typical things here, not, short on time, lots of other stuff going on. Any free time I do have is spent with my wife and my kids, and my dogs. So I, and if it gets back to just Lynn time, I'm not really a huge fan of going to the gym and getting all sweaty and then having to shower. It just feels like it takes so much time. And so what I'd rather do is take a walk around town with a cup of coffee or read a book. There's just so many other things that if I actually get like Lynn time, free time, that I'd rather do. This is really important stuff. So I'm telling you that because there is nobody in my area. I live in Ithaca, New York. It's a small town. It's about 30,000 people. You may have heard of it. It's in the Finger Lakes region of New York. It's beautiful here. Cornell, an Ivy League school, is here. Ithaca College, which might as well be an Ivy League school, is here. And then we have other smaller schools. So we're a huge college town. And so even though there's 30,000 permanent residents, when students are here, it actually swells to 60,000. There are lots of personal training boutique studios. There's boot camps that pop up. There's a YMCA. We have a Planet Fitness. So we have quite a bit of a nice mix for, the size of our community. Again, mostly thanks to all of those students. And of course, each college has its own workout campus or workout center on campus. However, nobody in my area markets to me. And if you look at my demographics, I am right in the wheelhouse of where the majority of those businesses would. I'm in the majority of what those businesses would consider their ideal client. What do I mean by that? Well, 35 years old. I'm a woman. I'm a little chubby. I have kids. I'm short on time. I have the disposable income to pay for a personal trainer. I live right here in town, so it's very easy to market to me in various ways, whether it's putting up flyers in my local community, sending something to me through email, doing Facebook ads, lots of ways to reach me. However, no one ever does. So when I looked at joining some sort of a fitness center or workout program, I obviously, from my background in the personal training field and doing what I do now, which is helping personal trainers, fitness businesses, or just in general, any service-based business, help them sort of brand themselves online. I'm looking around and I'm looking at people's websites here in my local area, and nothing's jumping out at me. They all seem so boring. They just give me the basic information. A couple of them have some pictures, which is great, but they're like, I don't know, they're like contraptions that I've never really used before. Like the one is called the Cage, and I do have experience with TRX. I have one here at my house, but I don't do a ton with it, and I haven't done a ton with it for a while. So when I look at these pictures on people's websites of their clients doing these really intense TRX workouts, it actually intimidates me. And this is me. I used to be in the training industry, kind of know what I'm talking about. Very much niched in the health and fitness industry today. Work with boatloads of clients all over the world that are in the health and fitness space. I shouldn't be intimidated. Long background of playing sports. I'm not overweight. I feel comfortable and confident in a fitness center that I can figure things out. I have an outgoing personality. So when I look at somebody's website and it's just boring or basic, it doesn't inspire me to spend a couple $100 a month with them. I start justifying and looking at price, and to me, in my area, price came down to Planet Fitness or the YMCA. And I ultimately went with the YMCA because I could get a family plan. I think I pay like $80 a month. My whole family can go. They have a swimming pool. They have a basketball court, which is really important for me. I love basketball. They have lots of stuff. They have daycare. So for $80 a month, it's sort of a no-brainer. My point is because nobody put themselves out there in my area as as sort of the expert in weight loss or personal training or fitness. It sort of comes down to doing what the majority of people do. They go off of price. And so if you have a service-based business where your business model is not the low-cost model, what I mean by that, if you're not a Planet Fitness where it's $10-20 a month, it's really important that your brand, your vibe, who you are, comes across on the website. People will figure out where you're located because they'll click the contact tab. People will figure out what your classes are because they'll click your schedule tab. What you want on your homepage is to jump out at somebody and make a connection. Let them know immediately that you're different, that you understand what it's like when warm weather hits and those loose shorts that, were loose last summer are now the snug shorts. Let people know that you routinely work with people like me, short on time, have a lot of responsibilities, and the last thing I want to do I spend an hour and a half going someplace and not really sure what machine to use or what I'm doing. Anyway, my point is this. If someone in my local area had the marketing know-how to simply step up, market themselves effectively and consistently, they could easily grow their business exponentially because nobody else in my area is doing this. And for most of you watching, nobody in your local community is doing it either. In other words, one website is pretty much like all the others. They might look different, but what is in them is generally the same. What's missing is that celebrity status. Stepping up and saying, I'm good at what I do. Here are the results I get. And here's how I'm different than every other thing you've tried in the past. Now, that's obviously going to be different for each of you watching, but that's why it's important to know who you are, who you serve, what makes you different, and then how do you deliver that in everything you do, your website, your ads, your marketing, when you're talking with somebody. So the point is this: in today's world, you have to stand out, and part of standing out can just be you being you. Whether you're funny and tell bad jokes, or whether you're kind of quiet and you really just like listening to your clients and you're sort of involve a little bit of life coaching maybe. It doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you're on. If you can just be you and get across who you are and how you serve people and how you're different, you're already heads and tails above other people. Okay, so there's a lot there, but I think the big piece of it is just focusing on being that person in your community that is known when people think of fitness or weight loss or personal training or whatever the case would be. That way, when somebody like me is ready to put a couple $100 a month down to get some good coaching, some results, a program that I can stick with, something that is going to help me not take a ton of time, just get me from point A to point Z quickly. When I'm ready to do that, someone or a business will pop into my mind, and it'll be clear that I should only go with that person because of the results and the marketing and the personality and that know, like, and trust factor that they've spent all that time developing through their marketing to me over the past week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months, a year. It varies. But the point is this: when somebody is ready to buy, they need to think of you. Okay, take care. Bye.